Hi everyone, welcome to today's STEAM adventure with the Anaheim Public Library. My name is Miss Brianna and today we are going to learn how to make our very own geodes as well as looking at a bunch of different ones too. Okay, so today you might ask yourself, what is a geode? Well, a geode is a rock formation. So here's an example of a big, beautiful geode. On the outside you can see it's rock. So when a rock has a cavity or a crack in it, there's a bunch of water that over time, it slowly seeps into these cracks in this cavity and it fills the cavity of the rock with water that contains a bunch of minerals. It can have a bunch of one mineral, but this water is very saturated with minerals. And over thousands of years, or a very long time, the water slowly evaporates. And once it evaporates, all of those minerals inside of this rock, they begin to crystallize. So when you bust them open, you can see all of these beautiful crystal formations. And that is what makes geodes so popular, fun, and unique. Check it out. Here's a little geode that hasn't been broken open yet. You can order these online, or you can actually find geodes in Southern California. Did you know that Riverside County and Imperial County are the most popular places near us to find geodes out in the wild or outside? And there's this place called the Hauser Geodes in Imperial County, and you can find some there if you look long enough and hard enough. They kind of look like this, and when you bust them open with a hammer or a mallet, inside of a towel or a safe sock like this, you'll get to see what's inside. Alright, before we open up this geode, we're going to protect our eyes with some goggles, and we have our geode safe in our sock. So let's crack it open and see what it looks like. 1, 2, 3. We did it. Let's open it up and see. Alright, so let's pour out the fragmented rock and see what the crystals look like inside of this geode. Wow, check it out. This geode has a lot of crystallization happening inside. Geodes are fun to break open because you can give the pieces to friends and family. It's a really nice way to share an awesome piece of science and geology. Now it's time to make our own geodes. For this project today, you are just going to need some eggshells. Maybe you've had some scrambled eggs for breakfast, or one of your family members did and you asked them to save them for you. So the first step that's very important is you're going to need to take out the membrane skin layer inside your eggshell. Every egg has this layer. You can see it here. I'm going to start to peel it off a little bit. A trick is that if you actually soak these eggs or run them under the water, warm water, it makes the membrane a lot easier to peel off. But you're going to want to peel off all of the inside skin in here. Here's a shell that I have that has no membrane inside. You're going to want to take some liquid glue and pour it inside. Just squeeze a medium amount into the shell. And you're going to take a paintbrush and you are going to paint around the inside of your shell. We're just going to put a layer of glue all over the inside of our eggshell. In today's project, today's STEAM adventure, we are using Epsom salt. So the glue is going to help us build up a foundational layer of Epsom salt so that crystals can have a very easy time forming on top. When you do put glue on your eggshell, I encourage you to put some glue on the edges as well, because that'll help crystals form on the edge of your eggshell and make it like a really impressive and fun geode. Alright, we have our glue inside of our eggshell. Now we're going to take some Epsom salt and we're going to pour it in, and we're going to kind of just rotate it around so that the salt sticks inside of our shell. You just want it to have a nice layer, and if you kind of drop it off the edge, you can see how it's building up. You see these salt crystals that are on the edges? We would like to keep those. Now we can see the inside of our egg fully coated with the Epsom salt. This is a mineral, salt is a mineral, and in today's STEAM adventure, this is the mineral that is going to grow All right, for our next step in today's STEAM adventure, geodes exploration, you're gonna want some adult supervision because we're gonna deal with a very hot substance called boiling water. So here I have a kettle and it's full of very hot water. You're gonna wanna pour some into a glass or a plastic receptacle, something that's, won't melt when you pour it in. And our egg is so small today that we're not going to use too much water. Okay, so now we have our hot water in our cup and we're going to get our mineral. You can use many different minerals for crystallization. Today's project we're using Epsom salt. So we're going to start scooping some salt into our water. What we are doing is creating a very saturated material. So we are going to scoop some salt into our cup, and you're going to take a spoon and you're going to stir that salt in. You're going to stir it until the water fully dissolves. When the salt is in the water, all of the molecules of the salt are just going like everywhere, and they're getting absorbed by the moving molecules of the water. If you'd like your geode to be a different color other than kind of like white crystals, now is our time to add some coloring. So you can actually add your food coloring into your water even before you put in your mineral. But we're gonna add it in about halfway. So you're gonna want to add in quite a bit of food coloring. I'm gonna add in 20 drops because this is not food gel coloring, it's liquid coloring. So it's not as saturated. So we're gonna add a bit more. So when the water's evaporating, some of the color leaves too. So that's why you want to be generous with the food coloring. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this, and I'm going to add even more salt because we want our water to be so saturated with salt that it almost cannot soak up any more salt. All right. So it took a lot of salt to get this water to the right consistency. You can see here that my water is so saturated with this mineral that it cannot really absorb any more at all. So we have so much mineral in this water that it cannot absorb any more of it. You can see so many salt crystals are still in here. But it's great that we have these salt crystals because this is going to aid in creating our geode. All right, so I actually ended up with a lot more material to fill up more than one eggshell. So that's kind of cool. I'll show you how to fill up one. This has been set to dry overnight because you really want the glue to have dried with all of your starter crystal salt on here. So we're gonna actually set this inside of an egg carton. Okay, here's our eggshell. We are gonna fill it with this super salty solution. All it is was hot water with Epsom salt, and we mixed this mineral of the salt in the water so much to the point until it could not contain. It could not absorb any more. It's so saturated. We're gonna actually fill it up with a bit more of the water, and we're gonna leave our eggshell like this for 4 days because that's gonna be enough time for all of the water to evaporate out of it, and we'll see how our geode comes out. So we're gonna leave our eggshell in here that's full of our salty mineral solution for 4 days. This will allow our eggshell enough time for all of the solution, all of that remaining water in there to evaporate out of it. And all that we're gonna have left is our crystallized salt. That's gonna be our geode. While this one dries, let's check out 2 of them that had enough time to completely evaporate. So it's been 4 days, and check out these eggshell geodes. Wow, look at the salt. This Epsom salt crystallized so well that it really looks like a geode that you would find like out in the Hauser geode beds. Here's another one. These 2 both had food coloring that was a mixture of all the colors, so they look pretty dark. Pretty nice, huh? Well, looks like we're at the end of today's STEAM adventure. Today you learned some facts about geodes and how to make your own geodes easily at home. Be sure to check out our books and online resources from the Anaheim Public Library to continue to learn about rocks and minerals and geodes. And remember to stay rockin'. Bye!